Fulani soldiers.
And army officers by.
Yes.
To conduct an operation.
Yes, right. You know,
to kill
these
people.
these are the things that we face every day. So Suleiman, right now, we're asking army authorities, where is Suleiman? Because they took him to Makodi and we've not heard about him again. But Suleiman in Ude, what headquarters of Niev Council Ward of Guma, local government of Benue State, 2 weeks before the Rota attacks of June 13 and 14, there are many T villages in my council ward, in my local government, that T people fled and left. Fulanis are occupying that, even in my maternal village.
And people cannot go there now.
How now?
How? If you go, say how now? If you go, what's happen?
Because you are not going with arms now, so they will take you on. They will take you before you reach there.
In Benue, now the province na DHQ in Nasarawa. So, situma him buan hanya hinenge bagwe mbaka. So, mbayeme na attack him ban we na ham zamble any oruna foul him baya. Yo, victuma temple or we saw you kakwa would happen bejela. Oh,
this particular voice note was circulated 5 days before the Yelwata attack. What did you guys do about it?
No, they gave the military in Yelwata now. Why would Nigerians be IDPs in their own countries? In their own country, rather.
They have houses, but they cannot return to their houses.
They cannot.
Because it's been occupied by someone else.
Because we don't have a government. What we have are people in power. But we don't have a government. Fulani militia. It's not any profiling. It's a statement of fact. Tell the Fulani nation, if they don't want this, if they don't want us calling, why have they never called a meeting of the Fulani nation to say, look, guys, you guys are making Nigerians stigmatize us. Stop this thing. They would never call that kind of meeting. Have you ever seen they call the meeting? If it was Fulani a thief that this is happening to now, Nzo Thief will call the meeting. That's the umbrella body of thief people. They will call and say, look at what is happening. People are stigmatizing us. People are giving us bad names. Stop this thing. The Fulani as a nation has never called a meeting of their people to say, look, you guys have done too much in this place. We want it to stop. You guys are our bad eggs.
Are you saying that they are not arresting them because they just don't want to arrest them?
They took them to the divisional police headquarters in Bajimba, that's the headquarters of Guma local government. The following day, a directive came to the DPO to release these guys. They even sent vehicle to go and convey them from that station. Why do you think that our people don't sleep in their homes? That I tell you that people sleep on the road median because of these attacks every time. Do you understand? There are a lot of peaceful Muslims in Nigeria, as well as there are a lot of extremist Muslims in Nigeria. Those are the section of Muslims that feel that, yes, they must dip the Quran in the ocean because that is the promises of their forebearers. They've said the jihad is a continuous process that hasn't stopped.
Where have you heard them say this? What's the evidence?
This is over and over now. Precious. This is not something hidden. For them, it's a jihad against the infidels. The infidels is what they call the Christians, for goodness sake, unbelievers. The any part, of course, is the Fulanization part. Be inviting their other Fulani kinsmen from other countries in the Sahel to come. There's a lush green land in the Benue Valley. They want a total takeover of the land. They capture the Hausa lands because they are all over. There are few in Hausa land, but they are the ones who are dominant. All the emirs are Fulani. You see a population, a town in Hausa land that is like made up of 80% Hausa people, 90% Hausa people. But the emir of that town and the most prominent people in that town are Fulanis. And that's what's happening all across Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kanu, Jigawa. You don't know why you're looking at it in bewilderment. That is what's happening. Many of these places, the Fulanis are only the emirs. Even Ilorin, you know, is Yoruba. Is Yoruba? But the Fulanis are the emirs now. The traditional ruler of Ilorin is emir now, emir of Ilorin. That's Amir. Amir, that's the Fulani title, you know, for this somebody Yoruba, because they captured the place during jihad. And that is what they want to do. They constitute the establishment. They don't want to constitute the establishment in Nigeria. Ribadu is a Fulani guy. He's the National Security Advisor. The Minister of Defense, Badaru, is Fulani. These are the top echelon of Nigerian security architecture. The National Security Advisor and the Minister of Defense. Even the Chief of Defense Staff is not up to them, because these are the ones that brief the president every time. And that's why they skewed the narrative that the president is talking about, hey, we should share our land with their neighbors, we should, you understand? Because they are the people who briefed it. They are Fulani. And you will never, ever hear Ribadu describe the killing in Benue as a terrorist attack or Fulani attack. He has always been describing it as farmer headers. Last month, when APs were having their 2 years summit, the Tinubu's administration 2 years summit, when ministers were giving their reports, if you watch, go to YouTube, you'll see it now. When Ribadu came out to give the security report, he was speaking with so much energy when he was talking about what they are doing in in Borno, Boko Haram, they are taking on this, they are taking on that. Then when it came to Benue, then he realized, he said, and the farmer header crisis in Benue. I said, no, mister, we don't have something like that. He said, the farmer header crisis in Benue, we're trying to solve it. We've done so much about that. The conflict, then I marked all these things. Then the next thing is called the conflict. The conflict in Benue has been reduced to a marginal level. Then all of a sudden, the tempo increased when it was to talk of IPOB. Your Excellency, in the Southeast, we've decimated IPOB. We've run out their camps, we've bombarded their camps, we've taken. Go and watch that video.
Boko Haram, ISWAP, the jihadis, banditry and kidnapping in the northwest, separatist agitations in the southeast, Niger Delta, and communal conflicts, including herder, farmer clashes, especially in the north central. In Benue and Plateau states, before May 2023, violent conflicts caused thousands of deaths, over 5,000 in Benue alone.
It has become normal now in many of these villages in Nasarawa to see Fulanis with their AK-47 passing on bike. It has become normal.
I don't understand. No, they go, they calm down. When did they drop these things? Barrister Frank who told him na lawyer and him be citizen of Benue State. As a matter of fact, in village Gongo na Yelewata, and he won't come tell us some kind things that we basically happen for inside the village. So, it's exactly 8 days after the incident now. How your village day?
It can better be imagined than explained. A very small village where about 200 people or more were killed. You can just imagine what's happened. And even though I'm in the United States right now, thousands of kilometers away, I've been feeling the reverberating effects of what happened. I really want to assure you that in the last 5 days, I've not slept up to accumulatively up to 10 hours in the last 5 days. I've been losing sleep because I know like over 80 people amongst the guys killed. I have a direct relationship with them. Many of my family relations. These guys are harmless. Some of the most gentle men you could find anywhere. All they are concerned with was just living their life in their village, going to their farm, coming, eating, and then going to play in the evening. That's all. They pay their taxes because you could see their farmers anytime they're transporting goods to the town, they pay tax. The water is placed on the highway. That's the place that Tinubu could not go. Federal highway that is dualized. There is just 25 minutes drive from Mokoti.
But say it rained that day and flood been worried that day for inside the
There was no flood. No, there was no flood. Where there was flood was like 30 kilometers after Yerwata on the way to Lafia. That place is called Akeleku. So that road, there was a slope. Those guys who built the road really did not take care of that situation very well because there's a slope there and then a stream there. So when it rained heavily, you find water on the road. So that was in Akeleku in Nasarawa State, not in Yerota. Yerota is just 48 kilometers from Makodi. It's just 25 minutes drive. There was no flood. But people are traumatized, they are devastated, they are scattered all around Makodi, and they've not been catered for adequately. I will tell you that they've been sleeping on bare floors. For the first few days they were in that primary school, mosquitoes all over, there was no water, there was no toilet.
So because the houses were burnt, so they don't have anywhere to stay right now.
Yeah, so they were camped at the international market in Makodi. The international built by Governor Suswam. It has not been used yet. So they are using that place as a temporary IDP camp right now. So there's no water there. But although I just heard yesterday that they started bringing water in tanks. And in the initial days, there was no food. As a matter of fact, the food that Pastor Edenchevi donated, they carted it away. Sort of. They stole those.
I hear that they stealing their food, yes.
Yeah, they stole those bags of rice. And many of them went there with bruises, with sores on their body. There was no treatment. I learned that today they called me to say they've started attending to them. They've started sending some medical personnel to attend to them. Although the ones who were bruised very well, who had fracture and burns, were taken to the teaching hospital. They have been attended to very well. I can attest to that. Now, so that's the condition of the people from Yorota. But few of our guys are still in the village because they've reinforced the security detachment in the village. So the Mopol who came, they've been distributed into some of the flashpoints in the bush. But the question is, for how long will they stay there? Because it's usually like that. After about 3 days, 4 days, they will certainly leave. So they've also added the soldiers because, like I told you, on that day when the attack happened, the soldiers in Yerota were just 4. They were just 4. So they were just where they were at the primary school there. They did not move out of the primary school when these attackers were burning the market, burning people in their houses. So they were there at primary. But on the other hand, one could also commend them for stationing, for being at the primary school there, because in about 4 or 5 classrooms, our people filled up about 4 or 5 classrooms, because the primary school is together with is annexed to the church, the Catholic Church, St. Joseph Catholic Church.
So that means they would have killed people in that primary school too if they didn't.
If they had
were
reached
not
that place, if they had reached that place, we could have been talking of thousands. Now we could have been talking like the number that happened on 911. You understand? Yeah.
Whoa.
Because we are IDPs even in Yerota there. We are IDPs. We don't sleep in our houses. So on the day of the attack, even let me even tell you something that nobody has said this all this while. On the day of the attack, right? You see, we have a dual carriageway.
That's what you said.
The road. Okay. So yes, so on the median of the road, the median that divided this lane and that lane, people do sleep on the median of the road for fear of attack if they sleep in their homes. So if
they rather sleep for express road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's open. You understand? They prefer that because it's an open place. So the highway, at least light will be flashing every now and then, light of oncoming vehicles.
So they feel safer to sleep at the middle of the expressway
instead
of
paradox.
them to sleep in their houses.
That is the paradox of what is happening in my town, in my village. They feel safer sleeping on the federal highway, on the median of the federal highway. So that day they were there. Because that day there was the news that those guys are coming. So they were there. But unfortunately for us, and then fortunately for those terrorists, it started to rain. That's why many of these guys now went back to their homes. And
yes,
it started to rain. Yeah, heavy rain. It started to rain. That's why many of them went back, and then many of them were in those stores that you saw the pictures that were burnt. So that was what happened. So those people are traumatized right now. People are burying their dead today. My cousin, his remains was just interred today. That's the guy who was APC's agent in the last election. Yeah, they just buried him today. So a lot of people are burying their loved ones. Some are just burying the bones that they packed, because skulls. They're just picking skulls.
Bones and skulls. Would they even know whose bone is whose bone? Or they just pack bones together to
bury? It's symbolic. It's symbolic. You just give it a burial. It's symbolic. Do you understand? You know that these guys, they slept in this room. They slept in this place.
Okay, so they are born beyond. This bone is a person's bone.
Exactly. So if it's a child, you know that, okay, we have a child who slept here. So you could see that this guy who was born here is a child. This one is a woman. So you assume. So it's quite, it's just to give them a symbolic burial, sort of. So, it's a day that has gone into infamy as the day that the murderous Fulani guys invaded our town, our little village, our very peaceful village, and took off almost 10% of the population. And I just pray that the chief of army staff and the chief of defense staff will be different from what has been happening in the past. I just hope they'll be very different, because we've had these promises over and over and over again in the course of the years, and nothing has happened. No single people come in their hundreds and carry out this kind of attack, killing hundreds, and then no single person will be arrested. That's we who are mere civilians even know these guys. One of the survivors, because they burned the room that is next to his, he struggled to escape through the window and took off, before they could shoot at him. So one of the survivors said when they came, So one of the guys was telling his fellow criminals, his fellow terrorists that, look, we should break this door, because in this door, if we break this door, we'll get lot of phones, because that is where people charge their phones. You know, in the village, there's no light. So there's a central place where people do charge their phones. They take phones to somebody.
So wait, you guys don't have electricity in your village?
There's no electricity there, so the federal highway.
Wait, a village that is in the federal highway.
No electricity. A village that is just 48 kilometers from the capital. We're in the middle between Mokodi and Lafia, because we are 48 kilometers from Yerwata, and then 50 kilometers to Lafia. So we're in the middle. So there's no electricity. I took the borehole to that town. I was one who drilled the borehole in the town. I placed it at the.
So if that didn't happen, they won't have access to water.
There's no water now. We just have one functional borehole, you know. And then although the governor, when he went there last week, he promised that he's going to drill 4 boreholes. So you could see it was this tragedy that is now attracting some things to the town. It's unfortunate for me anyway. So, but the governor promised him that he's gonna drill 3 boreholes, but there's no electricity, there's no hospital, because the dispensary that is there just have 4 dilapidated beds, 4 beds without even mattresses. You know, there's no hospital. The only government presence in that place is the primary. So that's the only government. Meanwhile, the market in Yerwata is the biggest in Guma in terms of revenue. They do come to market every time, so we don't attack them. You see instances where we don't attack them. They come to our villages every time. They come to the market every time to sell and to buy. So they know the place. They must not necessarily use a mole. Some people will think that, okay, because they know this location, maybe there is an insider from the village. There must not necessarily be an insider, because these people know the place in and out, because they do come. We do same. A team and we see a Fulani man in the bush, we won't even touch him. Despite this killing. Okay, so we have a certain section. I don't want to generalize it, because even me sitting here, my mom is a Muslim. You know, she's right now a practicing Muslim, yeah. So there are a lot of peaceful Muslims in Nigeria, as well as there are a lot of extremist Muslims in Nigeria. Those are the section of Muslims that feel that, yes, they must dip the Quran in the ocean, because that is the promises of their forebearers. They've said the jihad is a continuous process. The jihad hasn't stopped.
Where have you heard them say this? What's the evidence?
This is over now. Precious. This is not something hidden. It's over and over and over again. And so that is why amongst the Fulanis, anytime they come for attack, there are a lot of the Alagos. Alagos are Alago people that's of Nasarawa State. They are in Obi, Kiana local government and Doma local government. Many of them Muslims. So the Muslims, they join them. So those were the ones that carry out, for them, it's a jihad against the infidels. Just part of it. That they are carrying out a jihad against the infidels. Against the infidels is what they call the Christians, for goodness sake, unbelievers. So the any part, of course, is the Fulanization part. That they want that land. They've been inviting their other Fulani kinsmen from other countries in the Sahel to come. There's a lush green land in the Benue Valley. They want a total takeover of the land. And of course, the jihadists made their Waterloo in Benue State in 1804 when they staged the jihad, when Danfodio staged that jihad. They couldn't penetrate Benue. And stories had it that he was killed in Benue. So they couldn't penetrate. So it's a continuation of what Danfodio brought to Nigeria from Futajalo when his father left Guinea, Futajalo, to come to Nigeria. And then they captured the Hausa lands, because they are all over. There are few in Hausa land, but they are the ones who are dominant. All the emirs of Fulani, you see a population, a town in Hausa land that is like made up of 80% Hausa people, 90% Hausa people. But the emir of that town and the most prominent people in that town are Fulanis. And that's what's happening all across Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kanu, Jigawa. You don't know why you're looking at it in bewilderment. That is what's happening. Many of these places, the Fulanis are only the emirs. But even Ilorin, you know, is no Yoruba. Is no Yoruba. But the Fulanis are the emirs now. The traditional ruler of Ilorin is emir now, emir of Ilorin. That's Amir. Amir, that's the Fulani title. You know, for this, but they are Yoruba because they captured the place during jihad. You know, so that is what's happening. That is what they want to do in our place. They forgot that this generation is not like that generation of about 200 years where people will just be in their villages. Then you just appear in camels and horses wielding swords and cutting everybody's neck, and a lot of people will run and then leave you with the town. Then you impose your flag. It will never happen. So that is why even now all the attempts, they are just killing innocent souls. But you will never get that land. It will never belong to you. Because this is a new generation who know that they cannot fight us. So they use their, you know, they constitute the establishment. They are the one who constitute the establishment in Nigeria. Because today, the National Security Advisor, just like the guy was saying, the president of the Middle Bells, the stuff I just watched before now, the video.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes. So, Ribadu is a Fulani guy. He's the National Security Advisor. The Minister of Defense, Badaru, is Fulani. So these are the people in charge.
However, he got it wrong with the Minister. He got it wrong with the Chief of Defense Staff, because Chief of Defense Staff is
no, that one is Southern Kaduna.
General Musa. Yes, it's
Southern Kaduna. So I didn't call because I know what I'm saying. Okay. You know, so these are the top echelon of Nigerian security architecture. The National Security Advisor and the Minister of Defense. Even the Chief of Defense Staff is not up to them, because these are the ones that brief the president every time. And that is why they skewed the narrative that the president is talking about. Hey, we should share our land with their neighbors. We should, you understand? Because they are the people who briefed him. They have Fulani, and you will never ever hear Ribadu describe the killing in Benue as a terrorist attack or Fulani attack. He has always been describing it as farmer headers. Last month, when APs were having their 2 years summit, the Tinubu's administration 2 years summit, when ministers were giving their reports. If you watch, go to YouTube, you'll see it now. When Ribadu came out to give the security report, he was speaking with so much energy when he was talking about what they are doing in Borno. Boko Haram, they are taking on this, they are taking on that. Then when he came to Benue, then he realized, he said, and you know, the farmer header crisis in Benue. I said, no, mister, we don't have something like that. He said, the farmer header crisis in Benue, we're trying to solve it. We've done so much about that. The conflict, then, you know, I marked all these things. Then the next thing is called the conflict. The conflict in Benue has been reduced to a marginal level. Then all of a sudden, the tempo increased when he was to talk of IPOP. Your Excellency, in the Southeast, we've decimated IPOP. We've run out their camps, we bombarded their camps, we've taken. Go and watch that video. You see that when he was talking about Boko Haram, the tempo was high. When he now was talking about Benue, the tempo deflated. So, the farmer header crisis in Benue.
And so, are you accusing the National Security Advisor of being
no? What we are saying is that
are you saying that he knows exactly what's happening in Benue State? And
why not? Because why are they taking the terrorist attacks in Benue separately? The way, have you ever heard any of them call for the arrest? What they do is that they try to mask it. They will say, we condemn it. When we say, the last time Sultan did not say anything about it, then they brought out a press release from Jamaatul Nasr Islam that Sultan was ahead.
Northern Elders Forum responded to you.
They say
that they condemn it too.
Okay, so condemnation is different from calling for the arrest and prosecution of those. That is how it should be. So when you say, no, we condemn the killing in Benue and we console the people of Benue, my sister, that's just cosmetic. It's just like you went to Nigerian University, right? You see campus cultists in the university. Are they not the same people who organize anti-cult protests? Do you understand? They organize symposium. They go into student union leadership, and then they'll be getting money from politicians to organize an anti-cult seminar. Cultists. So that is the exact situation. They are condemning. The cultists will not be calling for arrest of the cultists. Do you understand? You won't be calling for their arrest. You'll be saying, no, it's cultism is not good. We are condemning cultism. So that is exactly what these guys are doing too. Oh, we condemn the killing in Benue. Ask them to call for the arrest of the people. That simple thing. Call for the arrest. They won't. That's what we're saying. They won't, and they are the same people who describe it as Palmer header crisis. I told you the last time that anybody who describes these killings as Palmer header crisis is a co-conspirator, or at best a traitor or a coward. What is the word there that you're calling the Palmer header crisis? Who is fighting who? The people that killed in Yorota, at what point were they fighting you? So that is what we're saying. We are shielding away a lot of things in Nigeria, shielding away a lot of things. It's an agenda. And that agenda, the patrons are too mighty, too powerful. That is why. So we are just so carefree. We don't support ourselves. We don't. But Fulanis, they line up their guys. They say Otom, his leadership was very bad. That he was not paying salary. He was only counting on the Fulani team. They fight against Fulani. He always go under that to conceal his failure in other places. That's what they are saying. Do you understand? So who killed a Fulani guy who attacked him? He killed a Fulani guy in the course of self-defense. Was he not arrested? Was he not condemned to death? That the Supreme Court of Nigeria even validated that judgment, that impunity, that sentenced him to death.
Yeah, that's you're talking about the guy. You're talking about the guy who killed the Fulani man who was about to attack him.
Yes. So I'm saying that when it is against them, right? There's always arrest. Anytime it is against them. The bombing some 3 years ago, 5 years ago in Doma, around Doma, that killed a lot of Fulanis. If you remember, there was a bombing that killed a lot of Fulanis. Do you know they arrested hundreds of thieves before the army now how to say, no, it was them who carried out our operation and they are very sorry about this death. And they compensated. National State government alone gave 300 million as compensation to the family of these Fulanis killed. The federal government also, it was under Buhari administration. The federal government also paid hundreds of millions. This same National State government that was not giving one person Yorota 1 naira yet. 1 naira when the attackers they all came from National State and returned back to us. And every time they are meeting, we know. Do you understand? Like I told you the last time, these people even have they do meet. Like even last week, no, this week, they met in a hotel in Lafayette, hundreds of them.
After the attack on your village?
See, hundreds of them, they met in a hotel. I will give you the number of the leader of that meeting. He owns the number, that's the Toyota Camry, his number. The number of that Toyota Camry. The license number, yeah, the license plate. The license plate of that. Listen, you know? And this is the guy that is always driving in Benue. He has a tinted glass, the Camry was tinted. So it's always traveling all around Benue. They had a meeting in Lafayette. So these things, they are always
after the attack on your water.
Do you know that it has become normal now in many of these villages in Nasarawa to see Fulanis with their AK-47 passing on bike? It has become normal.
I don't understand. No, you go to calm down when they drop these things.
See, people about more than 200 had a meeting.
Fulani people had a meeting.
Yes, exactly.
Just ordinary Fulani people.
So listen now. Listen. When they do have such meeting,
people that attacked you that had such meeting.
It is usually after such kind of meetings that we usually get attacks. We do get attacks after such kind of meetings. Most of these things are in the open. Do you understand? It is only the act of attacking that is done in secret, that they come in the dark of night. Do you understand? But them parading their arms, moving everywhere, taking bikes and flying with their arms, they're always in the open.
And then you said it's not normal for AK-47 people to be parading with AK-47 in Nasarawa State. It's normal.
See,
that's an accusation.
It's not normal for any other tribe, but for Fulani, it has come to be seen as the usual stick that Fulani do hold. Do you understand? You see them, even the ones that have been grazing in Benue, they enter now, they wrap up their AK-47 on their neck. Do you understand? It is normal. It has become normal. We've normalized it. We've normalized it right now as I speak now. You know, why are they not arrested? Like in all these attacks,
Are,
how
are
many
you
of them?
sa-
See,
are you saying that they are not arresting them because they just don't want to arrest them?
they took them to the divisional police headquarters in Bajimba, that's the headquarters of Guma local government. The following day, a directive came to the DPO to release these guys. They even sent vehicles to go and convey them from that station. Vehicles. They sent vehicles.
Somebody has also stated it here on this show that the Fulanis never last in detention. That whenever they detain them, that it don't take long and they release them back. I'll look for that voice
No,
later.
I'm very surprised that you're a journalist and you're just finding it. That's why, before I see, I'm an authority in this area. There's nothing about this case that I don't know because I've been involved in it very deep. See, before, 2 weeks
So
before
this
the
the what
attack.
attack? In the same
Yes,
year,
before
what
the
attack?
attack.
So that means
Yes.
there was an attack before this one.
Yes, now, yes. See, there's always attacks every week. This one is just because the number is so huge. And then the world was concerned. The Pope, bam, reacted immediately. VDM went there, and then the whole thing went viral. If not, it could have been taken as the usual ones.
So that
2
means
weeks.
it's been happening and nothing happens.
I say every time. That's why I told you that our people don't sleep in their homes. Why do you think that our people don't sleep in their homes? That I tell you that people sleep on the road median because of these attacks every time. Do you understand? Why is it that people go to sleep in the church and the primary school? It's because of this attack every time. So now, 2 weeks before this attack, they kill Ulam. That's the man's name, the retired army officer, with his son, and butchered his wife. Do you know that the following day, after that killing, in my ward headquarters, which is 10 kilometers from Yerwata, that one is in the interior, you know, the vigilante, because those ones too, they are always on alert. Fulani have been killing them. So the vigilante there now arrested one Fulani guy who was riding a bike. The bike has splashes of blood all over. So when they arrested him, after good drilling and beating, vigilante in the bush, arresting a suspect, you know what they do? After they beat him and drilled him, the guy now confessed that they were the ones who carried out attack yesterday in Yerwata. And that this bike, because we were asking him, because he mentioned that that's why there is blood here, the blood of butchery. Do you understand? Yeah. And that this bike was given to him by a soldier in Ude there, my ward headquarters, 10 kilometers from Yerwata. There's also a detachment of soldiers there. So the soldier's name is Suleiman. So they took the guy and the bike to where the soldiers were stationed. And then they caused rowdiness there. So the soldiers had to shoot some those shots in the air. I even shot 2 people there because they were protesting that Suleiman must be arrested and prosecuted. So they caused so much rowdiness.
For aiding the Fulani guys.
Exactly. It was his bike. He released his bike for that
So
operation.
that means they used his bike to conduct that operation.
He
And
was
then
a
the guy
Fulani
was
soldier.
going to give him back his bike.
Yes. He was a Fulani soldier.
An army officer's bike was used to conduct an operation.
Yes, right.
To kill
these
people.
These are the things that we face every day in that community.
So, Mr. Frank, this thing you're saying, are you sure?
So, listen, we need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to tell ourselves the truth because we are just shying away from all these kind of things. And that's why the whole thing is persisting. So Suleiman, right now, we're asking army authorities, where is Suleiman? Because they took him to Makodi and we've not heard about him again. They took him to Makodi. Suleiman in Ude, ward headquarters of Niev Council Ward of Guma, local government of Benue State. 2 weeks before the Yerwata attacks of June 13 and 14. Respond to one of your, somebody who wrote, he says, so you guys know the people. Why are you not confronting them? You guys are cowards. We are not cowards. Let me tell you what happened. The military that is always sent to Yerwata, what they do is to disarm our guys. Over the years, look, during Susam's time, we had enough arms, and that is why it wasn't happening, because we know there are camps in Nasarawa State. So when they attack, what we do is that we go to those camps and destroy those camps. We take the fight to them. So they felt the brunt of the TP. We are natural warriors as a TP, So, but what the soldiers have been doing in Yerwata and other settlements in Guma, what they do is that when they come, they go to disarm the youth. Do you understand? Like when the Fulanis come, the youth repel them. After repelling them, the soldiers now begin to go after the boys that did that without going after the terrorists. So they disarmed us completely. Completely. So you cannot fight them with that. That's why we do run to go and hide behind the soldiers.
You said that your people were aware about this before it happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did you guys get that information? How did you get the information that they were coming?
Like I told you, right? These things are always
Because
not
Mr.
as
Peter Obi, the president of Middle Belt Forum, also said the same thing on Arise Television that he got information about it. So go ahead.
yes, yes. So we got the information from somebody in that community. You know, many of the
In which of the
settlements, yeah,
communities?
yes. If you had played it, this thing I could have interpreted what you say in T.
Okay, I will play it.
He
I
said,
want you to, lay
okay,
it
so the voice note I sent to you was sent to us 5 days before the Yawata attack.
just 5 days before the Yawata attack.
Yes, it was on okay, it was on 6th on Salah. Because in the voice note you could hear that, today is Salah. He said today is Salah.
Mm-hmm.
So these boys had a meeting here in Adudu. Adudu is a town in Obi local government, not far from Benue border. You understand? So they had a meeting. Yes, he called it. He even called the name of the chief of that area. And so when they are investigating, these are the people that they have to go after. He say, hey, the chief is supporting these guys, the Fulani guys, and encouraging them to attack Benue because that Benue people have also attacked them.
So, by this incident, if you go by the interpretation, they said that these people are coming from Nasarawa State. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah, they're coming from Nasarawa.
Okay. Let me quickly just play that. Let's take a listen.
So chamba wesi chi aiki ene yaran ku ufa mungu in Nasarawa ha dudu. So yaran kurun ya mungu kwa tumem na hama mwila nomba hii yakwa nomba nguzanga kakwala msomo na habu ene na ha ene na ha ne facho share nemi via amba bwe mba zana attack himba bwe achumba kalen yeme nyai sala ene na ha bakalen yeme torodudu ka wene duduka wene tiumba zinda magwe himbenwe na ha mekwa bezi na tiukin na sarawa so situma himbwa hane ahinenge bagwe mba kalen be kaje kuma machine pokarwa so mba yeme na attack himba bwe na ha zambre eni oro na fawo himba ya yo bituma tsemble o be so yo ka ko wele happen bejela so msunechi.
Okay. I don't know if I need to play that again, just for reconfirmation. Sincere apologies. Let's just kindly take it again.
So chamba wesi chi aiki ene yaran ku ufa mungu in Nasarawa ha dudu. So yaran kurun ya mungu kwa tumem na hama mwila nomba hii yakwa nomba nguzanga kakwala msomo na habu ene na ha ne facho share nemi via amba bwe mba zana attack himba bwe achumba karen yeme nyai sala ene na ha bakaren yeme torodudu ka wene tiumba zinda magwe himbenwe na ha mekwa bezi na tiukin na sarawa so situma himbwa hane ahinenge bagwe mba karen be kaje kuma machine pokarwa so mba yeme na attack himba bwe na ha zambre eni oro na fawo himba ya yo bituma tsemble o be so yo ka ko wele happen bejela so msunechi.
To go by the interpretation, they said that these people are coming from Nasarawa State. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah, they're coming from Nasarawa. Okay.
And not just are they coming from Nasarawa State, they are also saying that your people had attacked them before, and that's why they're coming to attack. So what could have happened within this period that would have led to this? And then I noticed that from
No,
there,
you didn't say attack,
village
right? They say expel, that the chief have been expelling Fulani
expelling
from.
them.
Yes.
Okay. But I also noticed that the village that they said they were going to attack is the village close to your water, not your water. So does it mean that they
Yes.
redirected and came to your water instead?
Yes. So usually, right, in any of their meetings, you will just because attacking a village is it's sometimes discretionary and sometimes it changes because of uh how convenient it is that attack the village. You understand? If you are going and you get the report that there's so much security around, you divert to another location. So Ngban is just 10 kilometers away from Yerota. So they will do cycle the area of attack. So when they say Ngban, it's not that it's far. So it's the same area, sort of. So, and again, that day that they attacked Yerota, it was raining. So maybe some of the group, they wanted to reach Ngban,
They
but because of the
couldn't.
rain.
Okay.
Yeah, it rained.
Okay.
It
So
rained that
when
night.
you said this particular voice note was circulated 5 days before the water attack, what did you guys do about it? If what you said is correct,
What did you do?
what did your people do about it?
No, they gave the military in Yerota now. They gave the military and listen,
What did
but
the military do?
listen, Precious, why are you talking as if you are not in Nigeria? They will just listen to this and say, you
I'm
people,
asking. It's an
uh,
interview, so I'd
uh,
like to know.
yes,
So people will be properly
you people,
informed.
they will just say you people have started again, and then we pay so much like a surgical attitude towards this kind of things. If you go, do you know that if you go to a police station now and say, I'm suspecting a robbery happening here or this, the police will even look at you and laugh. You know that situation. You look at you first. Who tell you that one? How you take note? And all this, and then they will not move. They will even suggest that you pay for pen and paper for you to write what you brought, your statement of bringing accusation that something is happening somewhere. You know that. So these are the things we need to change. The values we need to change in the country. We need to be very professional. We are not that professional as security agents. We are not that That is a true. It's a notorious fact. So it's not an accusation. It's a
So
fact that
why
as
do you think that the military and the entire security apparatus did not react to this before the
okay
attack?
now, do you know our military is understaffed? That's the truth. And then like also in Yerota, I don't know the reason why they didn't react, but in Yerota, do you know that even on the day of the attack, the soldiers were just 4 in number.
Yes, and then we heard that the base that was nearby did not barely responded to the incident,
After
according to what sources said.
Makodi is 25 minutes drive, 4 hours operation. There's no reaction from Makodi. What do you want me to say? I don't know why it happened that way. So it's because of the lackadaisical attitude we pay towards all this kind of things. Because Yerota is 25 minutes drive, 25 minutes on a smooth road, federal highway with no single pothole anywhere on that road. 25 minutes drive on.
Pothole no day. Then why Oga Umahi
No,
has been
no,
repair the road?
no, because it's a new road. The road that Buhari just did now in the last 2
But
years ago.
Oga Umahi have directed that the road should be worked on because that's why the president
No,
come.
the road that will be walked on is that place that there was flood. It's not in Yerota.
Okay, okay, all
The
right.
portion yes, because the contractors, right? It's in Akalepu. Anybody in Nasarawa or Benue who's listening to me know where I'm saying. That place is called Akalepu before
Okay.
Agaragu. That's when you leave Kadorku. You reach Akalepu before Agaragu. So there's a slope, then there's a stream at the end of that slope. So that stream, when it rained heavily, it has been recurring over the years. So these contractors did not work on that thing very well. These guys are terrorists from outside. Yes, we know that a couple of them are from outside, but of course, the whole thing is led by the ones inside. They only invited their kinsmen to join them, and you could see that the politicians have been finding the embers of this carnage. Because the other time, about 2-3 years ago, Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi, said Fulani are global citizens, and so they are free to settle anywhere. That's all Fulanis does. Even those from Guinea, from this, and they are free to settle in Nigeria because they are global citizens. So these are the kind of comments from our politicians. That's the political aspect from our politicians that always try to increase the tempo of this carnage.
Do you think there's a possibility of that, the fact that may be what they feed the rest of the Fulani population, and perhaps that's why
because the Fulanis in Nigeria, they always make you look as if we own this country, so we are free to come. You are free to come. The Fulani, let me tell you the truth. The Fulani in Nigeria looks at you as stranger more than his other Fulani from Mali, from Senegal, from Guinea, from Niger. You understand? As a nation, I should relate, I should see you first and foremost as my brother. But in Nigeria, the Fulani man will see the guy from Niger more of a brother than you. That's the truth of what's happening. So they invite these guys, the guys are all over us. You go to that Makodi, some of the white men, they cannot even speak Hausa very clear. So you know that evidently those are the guys that are coming from Niger and all those things. You know, they always give the reason of, oh, there's desert encroachment in the north, there's desert encroachment, climate change has led to desert, to desertification, sort of. So they are moving southwards to getting water, getting lush vegetation. And in Benue, I said, we don't have a problem with that. But we have a procedure by which you carry out your business. Simple sense. Every business has modalities by which you carry it out. Your business is cattle rearing. We are saying, come, get a land. There's land available, we can sell a land to you. The land belongs to the people of Benue State. So I have a very big land in my village. Come, I can even give it to you. You can come and rent it or lease it for like 5 years, 10 years. Build your ranch. So what is the problem in that? Do you understand? What is the problem in that, for goodness sake? Build your ranch. These guys are saying, no. So that is where the takeover is. Because we didn't do anything bad. That is where the takeover is. And let me tell you, right now, as we speak, the land grabbing we're talking is just not mere rhetoric. It's really happening right now. Because right now, as we're talking, there are many tea villages in my council ward, in my local government, that tea people fled and left. Fulanis are occupying that. Even in my maternal village, the village of my mom, my grandfather's flats, my late uncle, he built a flat in the village. Right now, like these Fulanis are the people in the house.
And you people cannot go there now.
How now?
If you go, what will happen? Say how now? If you go, what will happen?
Because you are not going with arms now, so they will take you on. They will take you before you reach there. Do you understand? Right now, as you speak, I say in my maternal,
the security agencies don't know these things you're saying, or why do you think the security agency maybe helpless?
Listen, General Musa said it now. He said they are afraid of going there for fear of attack. He said it in the interview. He said some of these other places,
so the land can they not chase these people away, and so that the original occupant of the land can come back? I don't understand what is going on. General Musa is not a Fulani man, so what is happening? What's going on?
Exactly. So because why would Nigerians be IDPs in their own countries? In their own country, rather,
they have houses, but they cannot return to their houses. They cannot. Because it's been occupied by someone else.
Because we don't have a government. What we have are people in power, but we don't have a government. The primary responsibility of government is security and welfare of the people. That is the primary responsibility. Any other thing like building of bridges, building of roads, coastal road, and it's a secondary responsibility. The primary is the security, and that is why the state exists in the first place. The concept of state is that I will relegate my rights to defend myself to you, government, so that you look after me to make sure nothing happens to me. If not, we could have been in anarchy. Everybody's doing self-defense, and then there will already be government. Do you understand? I'll get arms to be defending myself. There will be anarchy. That is why there is a concept of state, that we all relegated our rights to government so that they will defend us. So there is no government. That is why this is happening. There's only people in power. These are two different things.
So are you saying that when you look at things right now, the people of Benue State, Plateau State, perhaps are helpless? Like there's nothing they can do about this? Because you said that if you try to get arms to defend yourselves, the military disarms your guys. That's what you're saying. That the military disarms your youths, and then you're helpless because you're just at the mercy of whatever happens.
Exactly. We're helpless. And not just Benue State, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, the non-Fulanis in Nasarawa State. Do you understand? Because even in Nasarawa State, the attack goes on, especially against my own people, against the T people of Nasarawa State. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. In Nasarawa State there. Do you understand? I think that was what led to the problem between Igons and Fulani. If you learn of this Ombati, that problem of Ombati, one man that they went to arrest, and his militia were able to kill about more than 50 security agents. Some years ago in Nasarawa State, you should know the story, Ombati. It's an Igon man. Yeah, because of this Fulani issue with Igons. in Nasarawa State. So I think the people in power need to explain to us. Because you see this thing called government. You see the room I am in. Government is like, when you're in government, like let's say federal government, the whole country becomes like a room. A rat that passes through this room, you see it. Because intelligence is everywhere. You have security agents everywhere. They get this intelligence. You don't use the intelligence. Then is it not the same Nigeria that even Dubai sent to us the name of terrorist sponsors? Did you do anything with it?
Okay.
Other countries be
Yes,
helping us. Other countries be helping
because
us.
I was going to ask you that a lot of people will be worried that why are you speaking out like this? Why are you profiling the Fulanese? What's your motive? Why are you speaking
Uh,
out?
uh,
And
my
why
sister,
are you profiling these people?
I'm not profiling them. I have hundreds of Fulanis as my friends.
Okay.
Hundreds. You know, I grew up being close to Fulanis that thief because I was born and raised in Jos. To my time in the law school, I was the president of my set in the law school. I know the population of law school. I was the president of the 2012-2013 set of the Nigerian Law School headquarters in Buhari. You know, and virtually all the Fulanis supported me. But there comes a time, like Dino will say, you tell the truth, you die. You don't tell the truth, you die. That is just the truth of the matter. So there comes a time we need to tell ourselves the truth. Why are we not living this? Okay, people say ethnic profiling. What is ethnic profiling there? When Fulanis are the ones who give you excuses why they conducted that, is it not Mayati Allah who come up every time to explain why that thing happened? Then the last time I told you, Precious, I
Sir.
said go to TikTok. I'm not sorry, I'm your brother.
Ah,
So
there are lots of people, though. See, there are also lots of Fulanis under that post we made initially that are accusing your people of killing them. That's why they attacked your people. In fact, they're even threatening that the more attacks will come up in Benue State. I saw some of those messages. I
where
wanted to
did we
put
kill
them up,
their
but I
people?
thought to leave them.
Where did we kill their people? They killed our
That's what
people.
I'm saying.
They killed us. We show the bodies, right? Did they show you one guy that they killed, that our people killed? You know. So they always, like the people, they always take responsibility. So why will you not call them by their names? Plan. So if they want us to call these terrorists that be killed by another name, then let the terrorists bear a name like Lakurawa, Boko Haram. When they bear that name, then let the Fulanis help us to fight them. So that we'll say Nigeria is fighting this terrorist group. Do you understand? But they cannot give that because they are the ones. If it is still people killing people like this en masse in Kano, that large number, still people because of farm, that still people want land for farm, and they're killing. Do you know they will call us by our name? They will say thief militia. So at that point, it will be ethnic profiling. Even me, I won't say it's ethnic profiling because it's true. Thief militia. Do you understand? Do you know they will call us by our names? If it was still people killing people like this in Jigawa, in Kano, in Sokoto, because they need land for farming, they'll call us by our name. They'll say thief militia. ESN, is it ethnic profiling? Eastern Security Network, Eastern. So are all Eastern people terrorists? They are not terrorists, but that is the fact that this is who is carrying out Eastern. Do you understand? Eastern Security Network. So that is why the Fulani militia, it's not any profiling, it's a statement of fact. Tell the Fulani nation, if they don't want this, if they don't want us calling, why have they never called a meeting of the Fulani nation to say, look guys, you guys are making Nigerians stigmatize us. Stop this thing. They would never call that kind of meeting. Have you ever seen them call the meeting? If it was Fulani a thief that this is happening to now, Nzo thief will call the meeting. That's the umbrella body of thief people. They will call and say, look at what is happening. People are stigmatizing us. People are giving us bad names. Stop this thing. The Fulani as a nation has never called a meeting of their people to say, look, you guys have done too much in this place. We want it to stop. You guys are our bad eggs. And so we're going to expose you. Have they ever said something like that? This is a normal thing that other people will say. We are going to expose the bad eggs in our midst. But because it got the validation of almost everybody there, yeah, those people, those infidels, we're going to deal with them. So everybody, where did we kill Fulanis? Where? And okay, he say I'm Jukun.
I don't know.
He say he's Jukun because the Jukun have been teaming up with the Fulanis against Thief. Especially,
Oh wow, really?
exactly, especially the Jukuns that are not Christians. Do you understand? They take it as part of the jihad. So they've been teaming up against. Even them, they have a problem with the team basically themselves because the part of Taraba where they are thief indigenes of that place too. So they've tried to flush them out. So they've had that perennial problem against the thief people. So if it's coming from Jukuman, I understand. I have a lot of Jukun friends who are very good friends, but if some of their bad ex would be, talking like that, it's part of it. We've understand these things been happening over the years. So, but when they are saying, okay, we attack Fulanis, like the water stuff, for instance, and they mention anywhere where any Fulani guy was killed, they can't mention. Because if he was killed, they will display. They will say, look at the number of our people that they killed. The Fulani people have been paying him. He has been ransacking communities for them. So there was one that he wanted to go and carry out in Taraba that he was charging them 1 billion naira. So, but they say they will pay him 300 million. So at the end of the day, he did not receive that money because
1 billion naira
to go and keep people. That's this kind like this Yerwata thing. Do you understand? Like this Yerwata thing to rent his army, to rent his own militia. They just go. They don't care who is there. That's how life is so cheap. How many Boko Haram people have come out and you are even absorbing them into the army? So you see, the conspiracy theory is so thick over and over and over again. Because Boko Haram guys have come out in their thousands. You did not just give them amnesty, you absorb them. You now absorb them into the Nigerian armed forces. But Ghana surrendered, and then you intercepted him on the way and took him because he's a thief warrior.